Hello, YouTube. All right, another question I get asked a lot is, do I feel it's worth it and am I seeing any savings? So I would say yes in both cases, and I wanted to share why I think that's the case, just beyond my objective opinion of running the system daily. Here is my chart from our local power company. I can show you where I used to be here in the lighter color, running pretty significant, right? Between 1,000 and 1,500 kilowatts at any given time, pretty much. And then my new usage now that I'm mostly on the EcoFlow system. Now, keep in mind, I don't have everything over there. I didn't put the air compressor, or excuse me, not the air compressor, the AC units on there. I don't have the kitchen microwave or the main kitchen oven or the spa and a couple other items I didn't deem worthy of the battery because they just take too much and they're not worth it, in my opinion. So I do pull from the grid, especially here in the summer months. I need the grid to run the AC. So I wanted to show you how significant my drop has been in my usage from the grid. So I wanted to start with this guy, and there's a couple outliers in here. I can tell you why here in just a minute where my usage kind of went up a smidge. But here's a good indication of the last 12 months, as you can see here. And then from average use, you can see I started to fall below. And again, here's a couple outliers, and I'll explain those as well. But you can see right off the bat, I'm nowhere near that 12, 1,500 mark, which was fantastic. And I've only a couple hundred watts, right? I don't even get to really 1,000 except for in December, and I'll show you why. But my average just really dropped. I mean, look at these guys, under 500-ish right there, under 400, excuse me, on this one for several months because I'm mostly using the solar and the battery for everything in the house except for some major appliances. And we can show you that here in the numbers. Back in 23, you can see I was kind of paying through the nose, getting a little tired of it. And then in 24, in January is when I started to purchase the equipment, made my first purchases of the EcoFlow setup in January, and then February, right? And I've just made my purchases here, and then come um, here in June is when I started. It was a little bit warmer out there, easier to work, right? Instead of being 14 degrees in the garage. But I had my equipment on hand, started staging everything, and then I did the install. And look at the drop from turning the system on in May to June. Just significant. And then in these next few months, I was adjusting the system, seeing how I wanted to use it and what circuits I wanted to add and whatnot, because I didn't do all the circuits at one time as I just felt the system out and what circuits I wanted to power, like the office and the kitchen and the entire living room. And did I really want to run bedrooms and bathrooms? And ultimately, the answer was yes. And then as I was altering circuits, you can see my load changed and um, my bill went up slightly and then dropped again after I made my changes. And then I started to add my second DPU. Yes, it was when it was colder, but it wasn't too bad. But I added my second DPU and my other array. So I was more on the grid in these months and then a significant drop again once I was fully converted over. And you can see I've kind of been trending in that area. Um, 70s and 80s, and this was a fantastic month. I'm really good solar, didn't run a lot of the extra on-grid uh, power units, right? Whatever they might have been at the time. And then I've been splurging a little bit with these lower dollar amounts. I was running the air a little bit more, be a little more comfortable in the house. So I didn't feel I was doing too bad power wise, right? Just a couple hundred or a couple thousand kilowatts per bill, right? So just keeping the house comfortable and whatnot and still running all the main circuits off solar. So here it is in the numbers. You can see I was really paying, and then I started the EcoFlow system. Then as I made my adjustments to the circuits I wanted to power, and then I added to the system, you can see it's been significant uh, decrease in what I've had to pay the power company. So yes, it's a lot of upfront cost. I did it all with 0%, right? Paid as I went, buying the equipment, staging everything I needed, everything from the units themselves to wired to the connectors, right? Thinking everything through. And you can really see it in the monthly. Now that everything is paid for as I go, it's just ongoing savings from here on out. And I just get to build it out better and better as I pay for it, right? Which is what I love about the modular system. But I wanted to show these numbers and show how I trended down significantly in my grid usage because that was one of the big questions. Again, any questions or anything, please let me know. Thank you.